Coming to you from sunny California and the Great White North. Get ready. We are breaking down the obstacles on the Armchair Ninja Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Armchair Ninja Podcast. It is Saturday, October 31st, 2020. My name is Rich, and joining me once again this week is Bijan. How you making out?
I'm good, my man. What a crazy cool episode this was. And happy Halloween to you also.
Yeah, happy Halloween to you. The episode we're talking about, and I realized the other day that actually I don't think I've been introducing a lot of these to say what we're actually covering in each of these episodes. We're talking the ANW12 Finals Round 1. And a crazy cool episode. I actually was not that impressed with this one. It was it had its moments, but overall, kind of a big meh.
Oh, interesting. I mean, I didn't think about it that way. Let me hear more of your thoughts. Like, why are you so, lukewarm about it?
I think I'm missing Vegas so much. I can't. It's like I don't want more city finals, especially watching people that I've already seen complete city finals just do another finals course. Just doesn't seem right to me.
Yeah, I totally understand. In many ways, I understand that sentiment in the fact that where the course very much is basically like another version of the finals course, right? Like the final cities course, whatever it's called.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy course by any stretch, but I kind of felt it was easier than without the corkscrew.
Yeah. See, that was the thing in my head. I mean, let's be real. It's not that easy. I forget how many people actually passed it, but you do have a point in the fact where we didn't have that one crazy ninja killer. Off the top of my head, there wasn't one. Like, there were some tough obstacles, like especially that dragon one looked pretty brutal, but we didn't have that just daunting storyline of a ninja killer, I feel like, this episode.
No, the two new obstacles were falling shelves, the X's that they had the little shelves on, which was, it was an obstacle. It definitely took a few people out. But
give credit to it. I think that was pretty cool. It was like a really solid, second obstacle or whatever it was. I like the dynamic of him just dropping drastically. That said, there've been obstacles like that one before.
Yeah, it was okay. It just wasn't great. And same with Dragonback. It was pretty good. I didn't dislike it. I don't know. It was a little.
It's no double dipper.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I don't know. Yeah, it's just like a cousin of the double dipper, and just I don't know, not as interesting as I think they wanted it to be.
Yeah, I will take it only because they're trying something new, and maybe they only were limited in terms of size of how many obstacles they can get on that particular, not course, but the land where they're at in that stadium. Maybe it couldn't hold some of the crazy gigantic obstacles that sometimes they can get away with by having. I forget where they film in Vegas, but it's got to be this giant, stretch of land. So maybe they're a little limited in spacing.
You know what? Actually, now that you say that, I would rather... It's the fact that it just follows the exact same format, right? It's got the same number of obstacles, warp wall in the middle, same ladder. It's got all the iconic city finals course. It just feels like a city finals course. I would have rather them have, 3 ninja killer obstacles in a row. Just make absolutely brutal, ridiculous obstacles for the finals. And don't worry about how long it is. Just really give them... don't make it a gauntlet. Just make it crazy tough for 2 or 3 obstacles and see who can get through the fastest.
I agree with you to a point. I would have liked to see 3 of the classic Vegas, obstacles, maybe part of the course. Say there were the I want to call them nunchucks, but that's not the right term. The wing nuts, the wing nuts in one portion, and the cliffhanger in another portion, stuff like that being a part of it. It's just so it's something relatable. I think that's where you get it. But the last thing I want is just 3 obstacles in a row, because that's not going to be fun to watch,
yeah,
television.
Yes, I don't know.
But
I just meant changing up the format, but I you nailed it. That's what I wanted. That's exactly it. So I don't know if the wing nuts would have Not like they had them, right? Because you need a long fall with a lot of water. But
I mean, hey,
cliffhanger.
Wingnut started out,
like
if you
that would
remember,
be perfect.
Man. Sorry, but Wingnut started out as like the third obstacle on like a on a course, so it's doable.
Right, they can do some small ones. No, I'm thinking like, but a cliffhanger. I like that. That would have been good.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll have it in the power tower somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm curious about this power tower in the end. I really hope it's not going to be like just like a regular power tower where it's pretty small, like it's over in like, I don't know, like 15 seconds, you know what I mean? Like, I hope it's like a really extended course. Maybe similar to Ultimate Beastmaster. I mean, sorry to bring that up again, everyone, but Ultimate Beastmaster really had a really, really cool final stage. So, I'm hoping so. Now's the time, but a part of me kind of feels like it's just going to be like the same power tower. How do you feel, man?
Yeah, I think it's the same power tower. I don't want it to be, but we'll see.
For $100,000, you get the power tower. It's kind of like, in my opinion, you know, like I've ranted enough about CH4, but it's like for $1 million, you gone through all this, climb a rope. It's like,
I don't know. It's a missed opportunity. Like the Ninja versus Ninja format would have been great. It would have been a good way to showcase it, see if there was interest in it on a bigger stage than we've had before. It fits into the smaller arena. It would have been dynamic. Make it some single elimination, right, for those final 24, and really just it would be interesting because anything could happen at any time, and it would be good.
So, focusing on this episode, before we get into the runs, how do you feel about the format of how they're doing the finals? Like, it seems like the mix between this episode and next episode, the overall 8 move on to the finals. Am I getting that correct?
Yeah, that seems to be what they're doing. So, there's 8 people. You know, they're placed 1 through 8 right now, and then next episode they could get bumped out by the people doing next. So presumably, it better be the same course. I would assume it is.
It's going to be the same course. It's got to be. But a part of me feels like then at least the numbers 4 through 8 or 5 through 8, whatever that is, they're not going to be in the finals.
I would say not. No, and
yeah.
I have a lot of doubts about the person in number 4, but we'll see.
Who's number 4 right now?
Jessie Labreck.
Man, a part of me really wants Jessie to make it on through to number 8, but I will say this: I think one of the Jessies are going to be part of the final 8.
We'll see. I'm excited. So let's actually get into the runs here. I think it'll end up being a short episode, but we'll find out as we go.
I mean, there's only so many ninjas that ranked in our head tonight. If we hit over an hour, shame on us. And I'm sure everybody right now is like looking at the time on their podcast feed and being like, all right, well.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, get to it. Like, you guys haven't started covering the actual runs yet. I think everyone's really anxious to hear our thoughts on the first runner of the night, Jackson Twait, with his stuffed cat,
all right,
his Karate Kid kick.
Yeah. Just stop. Just stop. Why is this a thing? Why is this happening? Instantly, I was annoyed on this show. I was
texting me immediately.
Oh, why are they doing this? And it's one of those things where it's like, all right, he's here. He's got that stupid cat. All right, whatever. Like, I was expecting them to be like, oh, here he is. He's goofy, and now he's gonna run, and maybe he'll say something about the cat. No, Rich. They had a vignette about this guy. They had a vignette. Shame. Shame on everybody on this show. Shame on everyone. Everyone. You know what? Shame on even the audience for watching this. Shame. Shame on me. This was just terrible. I was seeing red so much, I even forgot what was happening. I forgot what the dumb segment was about. I remember I hated it, but I remember what it was about, and that's a good thing. This was just so ridiculous. And you know what makes it just icing on the cake? You know what, Rich?
What's that?
Guess who was on the sidelines rooting for this guy?
Who was there holding the giant cat?
Oh, the Cake Ninja. I'm going to call this the Cringe Squad. It seems like they're all buddies. They're all trying to one-up each other on who can make me cringe more. It's just brutal.
I can't even remember everything. There was so much to it. I wish I had jotted it down. Like, there was more than just the cat. It was like the kick ridiculous. That he did.
There was a banana at some point for some darn reason.
The banana thing? Oh, he was talking to a banana or something? I don't remember. It was
Like
It was bad
they're
on every
trying
level.
so hard to like be like Jake Murray, like make this guy like Jake Murray. But there's a difference between naturally being goofy like Jake Murray and just. And I'm not trying to say this guy's faking it, but I'm just saying like at a certain point, it's not the same. You know what I mean? Like you have to just be. I don't know even know the term. Like you just need to gradually become that. You can't just be like, hey, I'm the new Jake Murray. I'm talking to a banana. It's no. No, it was cringe.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be one of those things where you ever have like that goofy friend and you introduce them to other friends and they think the guy's weird. Like he might actually be legitimately funny within his circles and stuff. Like we might actually grow to like this guy, but it's just out of the gate, it might be a little too much.
Color me skeptical that I'm going to end up liking this guy and his antics.
Yeah, I think so. I think at this point it might be too far gone for you, but maybe the rest of us. Yeah, he ended up going out on the falling shells. Just messed up on the final blind grab on the X's there.
The X obstacle took him out?
Yeah.
Obstacle of the night. That obstacle gets all the wins.
Yeah, it's not all bad, I guess. Jody Avila was next on the course, who ended up tripping up on Diamond Dash, hurt his leg, but he kept going. I think it was just a minor little hiccup there.
They kept like talking about it, but I was like looking for it. He looked like he was in pain, but they were acting like he was like limping and like really hurt. Right. I was like, what's going on? I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, I think they were hoping for like a Sam Sand moment that we had years ago where he like legitimately like really hurt himself and kept going.
Yeah, that one was real. I felt like there's been a few like real injuries that are like really scary, but this one didn't seem like that.
No. I have to mention, like, he took his shirt off to do the same ladder, and like that dude is in incredible shape. Buff. In a sea of people that are in incredible shape, he is in next level shape.
It just makes me sad. Like I look at him, I'm just like, what are you doing with yourself, Bijan? Like, you can do better. Like, what is this? Like,
I took my phone over to show my wife. I didn't watch it on my phone, but I was casting it from my phone. I brought it over to my wife, who was just finishing up her work, and I said, like, here, you're going to want to see this. And she's like, I don't want to see it anymore. I'm like, no, you want to see this.
She wants to see that.
She wanted to see it. She was grateful. So, yeah.
I bet if I showed my wife, she would she would be like, I like the show now.
Which is awful. It should be like, he's an athlete. We should respect him more than that. But it was just a very impressive athlete at that. And he ended up going out on slam dunk. Wasn't quite able to figure that one out.
Yeah. I mean, that obstacle, we haven't seen that. Like, was it 2 seasons ago? Maybe it was last season. I can't remember. But, I mean, it was a unique obstacle. I was pretty surprised that of all the obstacles in the world for them to choose, this was the one they chose for, the right after the salmon ladder.
Yeah, I don't know. They said they amped up the difficulty, which I thought it did seem a little harder because it was raised up and stuff, but not overly. It just doesn't seem. I don't know. I'm torn on this obstacle. It's kind of visually cool, but it kind of seems easy, even if it's not.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like a second obstacle type of one. I don't think it should be after the salmon ladder, but it's one of those obstacles where there's. It's doable, but you have a very small margin of error, and I think it would be much better suited for like a second or third obstacle. Yeah,
it needs like a bigger drop down near the end or something really jarring so it feels more like a dunk instead of just like a transition across almost on the same level. Like a bigger drop would make it pretty dramatic, I think.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that, this is replacing literally the corkscrew, where it's like, you know what I mean?
So by comparison, for sure. After Jody, we had Flip Rodriguez, who I thought was going to go pretty far. The amount of attention they were giving him this season, and the segments and everything kind of played it up. Now, he did really well on the course. He looked very strong. Ended up going out on Dragonback, though, and I don't know if that's going to hold up.
It's not. But that said, I mean, I'm glad we got an update with him. Really unfortunate about his dog. Made me hug my dog. I don't know. It was sad.
Yeah. Yeah, he just draws you in so much. Like, again, not a dog person, shame, I know. But for him, I don't know, I get it. I understand. You see the pain in his eyes. And it's been a year. It's not like it just happened before he ran. It's the 1 year anniversary.
Yeah.
Crazy. But after him, we had Jerry Dorillo, a nice segment on her. And she looked really strong on the course and really happy. Like she was just glowing.
She was
having
smiling,
such a great time. Yeah. Like I love that. Like it seems like a small thing, but it's not. It's really not. We have some great ninjas later in this episode, who just were very, very serious the whole run. And it just doesn't draw you in the way, like just a big goofy smile and look like you're having fun. And it makes us want to root for you.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, I don't blame anybody for being focused like at this
right.
point.
Oh, yeah. No.
But yeah, I get your point.
But yeah, she ended up going out on the falling shells. I like the whole way they played up her run. They had the conversations going on with the sidelines and everything. I thought it was all really good.
Yeah, that said, I was really surprised when she did fall. I mean, it was just one of those jarring things where you're like, whoa, what happened? You know? Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I'm really happy that we got to see her again this season.
Yeah. Next up, one of my picks, Michael Torres.
I really thought you had it with Michael Torres. Like, man,
So
they were
did I.
hyping this dude up this season. This one was a shocker.
Yeah, that was one of the most jarring ones for the night. Not probably the most, but one of them. Ended up going out on Diamond Dash, just misplaced on the third step, and ended up going right into the wall.
Yeah, that said, man, this dude ate it.
Yeah.
That was unfortunate.
Yeah, go big or go home. He it didn't look good. After Michael, we had Cameron Baumgartner, the bomb, whose excitable mom they were comparing to Vicky Rail. Like, I mean, I'm sorry. You know, she seems like a nice lady, and she's very excited. She didn't know Vicky Rail.
Yeah, that's not fair. I mean, you're don't fly too close to the sun. I mean, Vicky Rail is like, you know, legendary status, you know. But that said, I really like this guy's mom. She's very excited and caring, but she's not over the top, which I appreciate. Like some of the moms or whatever, it's kind of become like a shtick where it's kind of like, okay, whatever. But like Vicky Rail, in my opinion, and this lady seems so genuine and caring. Like, you know, they can be like antics wise, but I don't know. For some reason, I just believe it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think they helped it a lot and it did add a lot to it by showing her at his wrestling matches and everything that he does. She's screaming on the sidelines like that. It was pretty good.
Yeah,
like,
that's a good point.
I don't want to take away from it.
It's one thing to just see them freaking out like on the course, but it's another thing to show them like, no, she's been doing this for a while. It's not just for the cameras.
Yeah. And I would be too. Like, I mean, if I had made it to the sidelines for you, Bijan, I would have been screaming my head off.
Oh, thank you.
But Cameron did really well on the course, like looking very, very strong. Got to Dragon back and looked like he was going to take it down, and then, like, in a pretty jarring moment, smacked himself in the face with the bar at the end. Didn't let go and ended up swinging back over the water. Like, we don't see falls like that very often.
No, I felt bad for him. So it's one of those things where I genuinely am curious, like, did he know that he needs to time it correctly at the dismount of this obstacle? Now, when I was on Ninja Warrior, they did, you know, hit on some of the dynamics of like, hey, make sure that you drop off on this time, but I don't know when it came to this obstacle. It did look like he just held on way too long. Maybe he just wasn't focused on it, but that is just the worst way to go, where you're pretty much done with this obstacle and you just mess up the dismount, you know? And not like that, but you get a big old bloody mouth due to it also. That sucks, but he was in good spirits, so I guess.
Yeah, I'm glad to see he did take it in stride. Like, it could happen to anyone, and there's been some weird hints around the edges that they didn't do that kind of a review of the course or something like they have in the past. There was a moment last week that I thought was strange where Joe watched the one of his teammates fall, and he's like, those drop so far, talking about the corkscrew. And it's like, didn't you see that in practice? Like, I'm confused when how it looked like he had just seen that for the first time.
I mean, that's a good point. But he could have just been saying it off the cuff also. I mean, who knows?
Could be. But yeah, Cameron made it to the Dragonback, is in the top 8, but we'll see if that's enough. I have a feeling we'll probably have enough finishers next week to make sure you have to have finished. But
we will. But hey,
yeah.
I will say this. Whatever you want to say about the difficulty of the course, it did have an appropriate amount of finishers for it. So there is that going for it.
Yeah, they pretty much nailed the number of finishers, didn't they? You'd want 4 per, and that'll do it.
Yeah.
After him, we had Najee Richardson back on the course. So they mentioned again that he didn't hit a single buzzer last year. Made probably a highlight of the episode for me. His single-handed grab on the falling shelves was one of my favorite moments of the whole episode.
That was definitely the highlight of the episode. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. He's one of my picks, right? Like,
yeah,
I'm not the best at remembering things, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I can easily see this guy winning the whole thing. I feel like he's getting a certain type of edit, you know what I mean? Kind of like a winner's edit. I'm just feeling it.
It might have been set up to this. Like, I feel like this was a great run. Like, it had everything you wanted. He hit it with, like, a lot of power. Like, he climbed the spider trap with, like, attitude. Like, he was just flying up that and stood up there with his big pose and the sidelines. Like, everything hit. He had those scary moments in the course. This is, like, quintessential ANW run.
Yeah.
You know, Phoenix rising from the ashes, the whole deal. They had it all. So it could have just been build up to this. I hope he wins it all. I'd love to see him do it. He's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, it could have just been for this.
Yeah. Well, with that said, Najee Richardson, you get the athletically profound run of the night. This was amazing. I love this run. The save was amazing. His mom being super caring and like praising Jesus, you know, at every moment. I loved every second of that. And also I love the dynamic to where his asthma, I mean, it's unfortunate, but his asthma does play a role in his runs to where there's that added drama to the factor of like, he has to not only complete this course, but he has to complete it quickly, but also he can only go so quickly of a pace without winning himself. So there's a lot going on with his runs, and I like that. But not just that, I mean, he's he's an amazing role model for the sport and everything else. And I like the fact that a lot of his stories, and we'll talk about this later in terms of, they want to hype somebody up, but they don't really have much of a storyline for them. For him, at the very least, there's always creative ways of them presenting him and learning something new about him, but in an entertaining way. I liked him talking once again about being vulnerable, but also being in a rut last season, but finding a new motivation through working with these kids during ANW Junior, and I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and he gave one of the few highlights of the episode for doing obstacles in creative ways, because that's always kind of one of the fun things about the course is when the ninjas find a different way to tackle obstacles, and a lot of these ones were fairly straightforward in their execution. Mm-hmm. But he hopped that bar over the top of the dragon back and down the other side in a way that just made it so much more entertaining to watch, and you made it appreciate his skill level like that much more.
Yeah, and that was not an easy feat to do. Like, I'm obviously not there, but I can only imagine you've got to hold onto the bar that much harder. You know what I mean? So, this guy's next level.
After him, we had Jamie Ron, Captain NBC. Also did quite well in the course in spite of, hacking off a piece of his thumb in the most brutal way possible.
Every time they show
probably
it, I'm just
feeling
like, why?
The pain of every jump. It just probably was very jarring for him the whole time. Just trying to make you squeamish. Is it working?
Yeah, man. I mean, they had to have him holding the bone saw, whatever that saw's called, the circular
right,
saw.
Holding
he was
saw,
holding
yeah.
it. At one point in the back, and I'm just like, don't show me that. I don't want to think about it. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Kissing my thumb now.
he ended up getting uneven on the first dragon backslide, and unfortunately went out there. So yeah, he may be in, but probably not going to hold up, unfortunately.
Probably not. I mean, how many people do we got next episode? I mean, we know Daniel Gill. I'm just gonna assume he's already in. Like there are just certain people, kind of like Najee, where it's like, well, a freak accident can happen, but I'm just gonna assume they're in.
Yeah, I'm actually like, they didn't do like any fast forwards. It's like every run was shown.
Dude, I like that. I like the fact that they're showing every run. It's kind of like a sporting event. And honestly, these ninjas worked hard to this point where they better get their time to shine.
Yeah, it seems like they've got enough time to do it the way they're going. Although they've got to cram both the last of the athletes and the final races into the next episode. So I don't know if this is going to continue.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I was thinking about this towards the end of the episode. I'm like, man, we're missing some of these ninjas like Nicholas Coolidge and all that. But then it came to mind. I'm like, where the heck is Jeff Britton at? He would have done very well, I feel like, this season.
Yeah, I don't know.
As a Count Hero, too, I think he could have done well. Like, these obstacles, or these courses have been very, very upper body, like rock climber heavy. Honestly, Wolfpack, all the members of the Wolfpack, I feel like, I feel like they could have done well. But, what can you do?
We didn't even get Dan Yeager. We had, like, Megan, I think, is the only one.
Yeah, she's the only one repping. I mean, I'm sure it's going to come out that there's, like, there at this point, there's like a million members of the Wolfpack, but we're talking about the OGs, right?
Right. Yeah. All right. We had next Dan Palizzi, who is looking very strong on the course. Right up until the balance obstacle, he ended up going out on Diamond Dash.
Yeah, I mean, these poor guys, man. The balance obstacles. I don't know what to tell you.
So I noticed on his run, because he was not the first one to fall there. I think it's the fact it was the third one again kind of made me take note of the fact that it's the one that raises back up and they're hitting it too close to the front. So I'm thinking they don't want to overshoot it and they're just coming up short on each of them, and they're not. It's harder to lift your foot up and then place it down right where you need it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot going on. I mean, it's very difficult to properly place your feet, like by the third time you're doing it, because by that point you're already off balance. It's very tricky. I feel for these guys.
All right, and Lucas Reale was up next, who we were just talking about last episode, not having a segment. Well, you got a segment now, and we get to know some things about Lucas Reale besides the fact that his name ends with E.
And what a segment it was. This was a really good segment. I mean, unfortunately not like great news or anything like that, but I mean, it really made me care for him and his family. It made me feel like I got to know this guy. It was vulnerable, and I don't know, this kid actually shows like a lot of camera presence. Like, I was very impressed overall by this whole thing. Once again, I feel terrible for him and his family that his father passed, but the overall segment was, it did its job in terms of making me feel like a connection with him.
Yeah, I do feel like that's the same kind of segment he's had before. I mean, I could be wrong in that, but it does have a very familiar tone to it. It's really, sometimes it takes a few times to stick, right? You kind of have to associate somebody when they don't have cake or a stuffed cat to remind you of exactly who they are. It's tough sometimes.
Yeah, that said, I mean, you definitely don't want to be known for something tragic. I mean,
no.
So, yeah.
No, I think Grant McCartney did such a fantastic job of turning that story around. That was his initial story. So Lucas, I hope, gets something a little more upbeat.
Yeah.
In coming seasons.
I mean, if he's doing this well, let's hope he definitely does, because this dude's phenomenal.
Yeah, he needs one of those solo, city finals finishes or something to really make it us take note. And someone's going to tell me now that he probably already did, but we'll see. But Lucas is incredibly talented, right? He's had a lot of success. I think they said he made it to stage 3 last year. Crazy.
I did not know that. See, that's the sad part. I feel like I should have known
exactly. It's crazy that we don't remember him as well. But we should after this, because he had like perfect course. He was literally like excited to do Diamond Dash. Like that alone should make him memorable. Like the guy that was excited to do Diamond Dash.
Yeah, for real, man. I'd be terrified by that obstacle.
Had the fastest time to that point. Completed the course, no issues whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say about his run because it was really good. Like, it was just great. But I feel more so, I'm just curious what his future is going to be, because I could see him going, like, becoming one of the top ninjas. I can also just see him being one of those, like, ninjas that are really good, but kind of just always overlooked. Kind of like Nicholas Coleridge or whatever, you know what I mean? Where they're always fast-forwarded.
Okay, so yeah, congratulations, Lucas. Did a great job. Next up on the course, we had Sandy Zimmerman, who during the lockdown has been making workout videos for the kids. Being a PE teacher, fitness for children's kind of important to her. And I bet she does a fantastic job. It looks like it's pretty fun. I like the idea of getting them just trying to shake Post-it notes off their shoulders, like just randomly running around trying to get them off. That was cute.
Yeah.
Next level athlete, though, watching her on the course just reminded us of how strong she is. But unfortunately, she ended up going out on the falling shells. Just whiffed on it.
I mean, those obstacles really took out pretty much all the women except Labreck, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. It's just, I would hate to be in their shoes where it's just one chance, that's all you get type of obstacle, It sucks.
Yeah, the reverse grab, I liked it last year when they first introduced it. It's kind of worn on me. I'm not sure I like that mechanic.
I mean, I'm cool with it, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's not, there's nothing cheap about it or anything. It's just, I don't know. I just feel like it's a little less interesting way to fall somehow.
Yeah.
Next up was the classy ninja, Donovan Matoyer.
Wait. Who was it again?
It's the classy ninja.
Oh, okay.
Donovan Matoyer.
All right, go on, Rich. Tell me about the classy ninja.
All right, so looking very strong on the course, but he didn't keep his hands equally spaced on the spin hopper, unfortunately.
Should have closed those hand placements. Hand placements, very important. All right, I'm going to stop. But
please.
but for real, first off, I have to say props to the producers. They didn't do that very awkward, like now they just have a Thai graphic for his name rather than the elongated Y. Vast improvement. Just saying, if you're going to have that background music. The music wasn't as bad. It was like more of a shack type of like soulful music, but it was still a little sus, I will say. But yeah, honestly, I was just so intrigued by his segment again that I don't remember much of his run.
That's fine. He's very strong. He's really good. Like, I really want to see what he can do when he gets the chance. He ended up just slipping up here. Like, he was still very strong, had lots left in the tank, and just misplaced his hands on the spin hopper.
Oh, that sucks.
But after him is one of my like dark horse favorites, Austin Gray.
Yeah, man, this guy came out of nowhere with the segment. Like, he was ghosted this whole season, I feel. Maybe I'm wrong, but like,
yeah, I haven't gave him lots of attention. In his rookie season, he got lots of attention, and then they kind of like set him aside for a while. But he did really well here. He's been working with the National Kidney Foundation too in his segment. That was interesting to see. And had zero problems with this course. That dude looked like just solid beginning to end. Like, had just made it look almost easy.
Oh yeah, and I like his shirt. Share your spare. I think that's kind of catchy. I like it. But yeah, this was a great run. It looked really strong. It's one of those like type of reminder runs where it's like, oh, I haven't seen them in a while, and then they just destroy the course, and you're like, oh yeah, that's right. This dude's legit. This guy's for real. So it's kind of one of those things.
Yep. after him was Tyler Gillette.
I feel like Tyler Gillette isn't the same like threshold as Austin Gray, where they're kind of like they just pop up at like once or twice every season, where it's like, hey, I'm still here, I'm still like really, really good.
Yeah. By the way, I can take down the course at any time, guys, if you want to remember me.
Yeah.
Tyler, though, who dedicated his season to his cousin Bill, and I thought it was like, potential to win the whole thing. That was the shocking fall of night. He went out on spring forward, and my jaw dropped.
Yeah. I don't know. It just happened so quickly. I was just like, what? Because it's one of those obstacles where you just kind of like or at least me, I'm kind of glazed over because I just expect them to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I mean, but these things happen. There's a reason that obstacle's on the course. It's not just going to be like a simple thing to do. All these are hard, but these ninjas are just so superhuman to make it look easy. But yeah, I feel for the guy. It sucks, but I mean, he's going to be back. He's great.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Flex Labreck is next, right?
They let her fiance go first, just to, warm up the course for her. Krista Ganji, who is training partners with Flex Labreck, and typically goes out at the same spot, which they really, really hyped up this time around, ended up falling on the falling shelves. Kind of a shocking fall because he's been doing quite well the last couple seasons. So for him to go out early was a pretty big surprise.
Man, it's a shame to see, but it was a sacrifice needed to get Labreck to the buzzer.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that, but you know what I mean. I mean, I'm as unfortunate as this was. It in a way heightens up even more so how of an amazing thing that we're about to see.
Yeah, because the final runner of the night was Jessie Flex Labreck, and what a run it was! It was everything great about Ninja Warrior. We even had a bit of humor on the court as she took a spill coming off of Diamond Dash, and they thought she was crying or hurt herself. And
dude, I did laughing. Too. She rolled over holding her face. I was like, oh my god! But I was like, oh, you got me, Flex. Okay.
I thought she did the Michelle Warnke thing. I thought she was going to come up with like a bloody nose or something. Yeah. Like I thought she, something had gone wrong. No, she was just a little embarrassed because she took a face plant coming off of there. She was visibly struggling by the time she got to Dragon back, but she managed to bring it down and hit a second. Like, see, that's the thing too, right? This is really it's a city finals, but I don't know how they're going to phrase this in future seasons. But she hit another buzzer on a 10 obstacle course. Incredibly impressive. Just love her to death. Could watch her every week.
So this is it would be the visually profound shame segment of the night, because this segment was complete waste of time. I mean, this segment was just, hey, we need to film something to tell because you're about to do something awesome. But this was, I don't know what this was, man. Like, you want to make it about her father, cool. Her father isn't even there. She's literally like on the phone and they show like her saying like a few words to her father. This was just a complete waste of time. But it was because they wanted you to get to know her. I feel like there's better ways to get to know Casey Flex Labreck than this, but whatever, she fishes. But that's all a moot point, because what she does is absolutely amazing. This will be one of the highlights of the season. Flex Labreck, you are clearly tied for athletically profound run of the night, because this was amazing. It's a case of not only does she complete the course, but she does it with such strength and poise. She is just such an amazing athlete. And for a course that only 3 people have completed before her, the fact that she got through a bunch of all the ninja killers, including that dragon, and also towards the end was struggling and had to show her heart and her grit and determination to get through that course. And just to see her climb that, spider climb at the end and hit that buzzer, I mean, it was a really emotional, amazing moment. And gave me shades of like Casey Catanzaro and Jessie Graff, not to, give any shade to anybody else that hit a buzzer. But I'm just saying, like, those two really, are in my brain right now, in terms of, like, they hit the buzzer and it was immediate emotion. And this was just a really, really cool moment. And yeah, she's got the record for most buzzers right now. We'll see tomorrow next week if Jessie Graff matches it. It's kind of weird where they're like, Flex Labreck made the record, but it's like, well, Jessie Graff's about to run, so let's like chill on like everybody freaking out. But still, right. Give the credit where credit's due. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, so that left us with a top 8 that is Lucas Reale, Najee Richardson, Austin Gray, and Jessie Labreck as the 4 finishers. Following that is Jamie Ron, Cameron Baumgartner, and Flip Rodriguez, who went on Dragonback, and Jody Avila with Slam Dunk.
They are not, I mean, think about it. Jody Avila with a Slam Dunk is number 8.
Yeah. That's not holding up.
Those last 4 are not making it. It's unfortunate to say, but it's just not going to happen, in my opinion.
Yeah, I really want Jessie Labreck's time to hold, though. I really hate the idea of her getting bumped out by too many finishers next week.
I kind of feel, the more I think about it, I kind of feel like it's going to happen, though. Like, there's a reason they probably gave her this random terrible segment. It's either that or they're hyping her up to win the whole thing, which would be amazing. Like, imagine, right. It's like, how awesome would it be if it ends up being the 2 Jessies in the end?
Oh,
like that would be the greatest thing ever.
It would. So there are times, just to be the reason why I think she's going to get bumped here. So we're talking 433, 436, and 440 for the top 3, and she has 731. Like, she took quite a bit longer.
That's a big difference. I mean, it really, you'd have to really be going slow. Well, she didn't really go at a slow pace, but no. When you look at those times, it is a big difference.
So we'll hold out hope. I really do want to see her move on to the finals. I think it would be great. And yeah, if we could get the other Jessie in there and have them square off, that would be even better.
That would, oh man, that would be the best.
But that is it for this week. If you'd like to reach out to me, you can reach me as rich@ninjapodcast.com. I am at Ninja Podcast on both Instagram and Twitter. And Bijan, how can they reach you?
Yeah, hit me at Twitter and Instagram at Bijan151. That is Bijan 151. And this week, I particularly want to hear everybody's picks to win the whole series. Well, I don't know, Rich. Are spoilers out there? Because maybe people are just going to be spoiling us.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm avoiding all of that just to potentially avoid any spoilers. But
well, I will look at your comments after I watch the next episode. But hit us with the comments of what your picks are to win the whole thing.
All right. Thank you all so much for listening, and have a wonderful week.
Peace, love, and deuces, y'all.